Hey everyone, it's Alex, and today I'm going to talk about this awful Fortnite video I found a few days ago by WatchMojo. Now, I don't really watch any of WatchMojo's videos at all, but I do watch a lot of Fortnite content. So I found one of their Fortnite videos in my YouTube recommendations a few days ago. The video is called Top 10 Worst Things Fortnite Has Done, and it was uploaded on May 15th, 2020. So with a title like that, you'd expect some things that the community hates with a passion to be on this list. But it's some things people hated and some things the writer of the video hated, and number one is not what you'd expect it to be. I may come off as a Fortnite fanboy in this video, but trust me, I don't like some aspects of the game, and I'm far from the definition of a fanboy. So yeah, let's get into the video.
Not everything is as glamorous as the newly revealed Party Royale makes it out to be. Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 worst things Fortnite has done. For this list, we're looking at some of the most appalling, scornful, and embarrassing stunts Fortnite has pulled since its launch in 2017. Number 10. Forced crossovers.
Okay, this one's pretty stupid. Most of the time the crossovers in Fortnite aren't quote-unquote forced. They usually tie into something happening with the franchise they're crossing over with. Let's see what he actually has to say though.
Whenever Fortnite launches a new crossover event with big-name franchises like the Avengers and Borderlands, of course it's going to generate headlines on top of a massive amount of hype. However, as the years have gone by, some of these crossovers feel a lot more contrived than creative.
What are you talking about? Fortnite's crossovers are incredibly creative. We got a live event when they crossed over with Star Wars, concerts by Marshmello and Travis Scott, and 1 LTM each time they crossed over with Avengers.
Wreck-It Ralph's appearance at Risky Reels was odd, yet forgivable, and the aggressive Birds of Prey hype wasn't too much to complain about, but Deadpool's random inclusion in Chapter 2 Season 2 seems to exist for the sake of existing, since he doesn't even speak. That's like Marvel's unwritten number one rule: never shut Deadpool up. Fox learned that the hard way.
I'm single-handedly winning this whole thing!
Okay, I'll admit, Deadpool being in the Chapter 2 Season 2 Battle Pass does feel forced, but most of the time a crossover happens to commemorate something, like movie releases with Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame, game releases like with Borderlands 3, and just other major events like the FIFA World Cup or the Super Bowl.
Number 9. Removing traps.
No! Trap? Oh my god, he put a trap there?!
Oh god, what do you mean vaulting traps was a bad idea? They were super annoying to deal with, and I'm not saying that because I'm salty I've been killed by them. They were pretty overpowered. They did 150 damage and you could have as many as you wanted. If they were to come back, they'd have to be nerfed to do 75 damage and have a max stack size of 10 in my opinion.
Some players like to employ a cat and mouse strategy when it comes to Fortnite. Lure a player to a specific location, plant a trap, get an elimination. It's incredibly satisfying to pull off.
No, it's not incredibly satisfying to pull off. What is satisfying to pull off are shotgun kills and trick shots.
But in January 2020, some pro players like Mongrel and Benji Fishy were calling for traps to be removed from the game, and they did so calmly and collectively.
Put a trap there. Then it's time for the archways.
Yeah, they asked for traps to be removed because, as I said, they were annoying and overpowered. This is also a good time to bring this up. If you want Epic to add something to the game or vault or unvault something, just ask them nicely. I've seen people berate them before and it's gone nowhere. I asked them for the heavy shotgun and lazy links to come back a lot, but since I'm not a huge streamer, they don't really notice. But it's still worth a shot to ask them for something to be added.
Epic responded to the vocal minority and vaulted all traps.
The vocal minority? Dude, halfway through Chapter 2 Season 1, I saw posts every day in replies to Fortnite's tweets and on the r/FortniteBR subreddit asking for traps to be vaulted. The real vocal minority are the people who want traps back. Also, not all traps were vaulted. Launch pads are still in the game.
Much to their dismay, this generated criticism from other players like Tfue, who stated that the removal of traps was the worst thing Epic has done to Fortnite.
Oh, we've got 3 kills with Loot Tunnel of Death. I told you it works.
Yeah, but Tfue is a hit or miss kind of person. Sometimes he'll tweet something along the lines of, Fortnite is so fun, and sometimes he'll tweet something along the lines of, Fortnite is trash, nerf aim assist. Not saying I don't like Tfue, I enjoy watching him from time to time, but his feelings on the game are inconsistent. And it's not the worst thing Epic has done to Fortnite. That would be the Brute.
Number 8. Shadow Stones. On paper, the Shadow Stones were a unique idea. Grab one of these items to turn invisible, kind of, and traverse the land at a quicker pace. You could even use it as a way to flank enemy players. There was just one little problem. Players found an exploit that allowed them to remain invisible beyond the 45-second limit. So it wasn't long before Epic removed Shadow Stones from Season 6 for additional tweaking. Of course, as soon as it was put back in, they were taken out once more.
This guy's logic is stupid. So just because they were bugged, they're one of the worst things Fortnite has done? Okay, so is every other item that's been bugged one of the worst things Fortnite has done? The bug with the Shadow Stones was resolved and they were perfectly fine for the rest of Season 6.
Number 7. Chapter 2, Season 2.
What the hell?
Even without Deadpool's forced inclusion, Chapter 2 Season 2 has been incredibly disappointing, and this comes from one of our writers who has been with the game since launch. In Chapter 2 Season 1, players were given several opportunities to level up in the Battle Pass, and it was this immense sense of progression that made Fortnite more satisfying. The game also made it easier to keep track of challenges in a well-organized menu. Chapter 2 Season 2 has only made it messier with menus inside of menus inside of menus, and the progression in the Battle Pass has been a total slog as there are more challenges demanding players accomplish tasks at very specific locations. Not even the agent-specific objectives could save this.
I'll agree with one of his points here. Leveling up this season has been such a chore. Nobody's gonna get all of the Golden Agent styles unless they're playing the game 24/7. This writer of yours who's been with the game since launch obviously didn't play during Season X, as that was the only truly disappointing season. If you want to recap on why that was the worst time to be playing Fortnite, I highly suggest you watch these videos by Jerry and I Talk Fortnite that I've linked in the description. Also, the Battle Pass menu this season isn't that bad. It may be menus inside of menus inside of menus, but it isn't at all confusing.
Number 6. Popularizing the Battle Pass system.
This is your hideout. Buy the Battle Pass to recruit this team of agents. Meowscles, a feline enforcer that can take some serious licks.
Popularizing something isn't bad. PUBG popularized the Battle Royale genre. Does that make it bad?
When it first came out, Fortnite's Battle Pass was one of the more unique forms of paid content we had seen in a live service. Since then, other game companies have decided to copy the system, and we've now seen the system implemented in titles like Apex Legends, Rocket League, and, to no one's surprise, Call of Duty.
As you rise up the ranks, you'll unlock the Ram 7 Assault Rifle and Holger 26 LMG, plus COD points and a ton of gear for you to personalize your operator with. All for just playing the game.
It is understandable why some players like this format, especially if you play these kinds of games every day. But when so many games start blatantly copying the same idea, they start blending together and feeling unrewarding. There are too many games demanding all of our time, and it won't take much for an unsatisfied player to jump ship.
We know you'll make the right decisions. Good luck.
If something's popular, of course people are going to want in. Psyonix, the developer of Rocket League, is owned by Epic, so it makes sense they'd add a Battle Pass to that. But Apex Legends is made by EA and Call of Duty is made by Activision, two of the most notoriously greedy game publishers out there. At least it's better than the loot boxes they usually do. Those things are straight up gambling.
Number 5. Infinity Blade.
I agree, but for me and most of the community, this is the second worst thing they've ever done.
This has to have been Fortnite's most controversial weapon since its initial launch. Hailing from Epic's action RPG series Infinity Blade, the titular weapon was introduced in Season 7 and granted players a wide array of benefits. In addition to boosting the wielder's health and shield, the Infinity Blade could destroy structures in a single swing, boasted a wide hitbox that made it hard to avoid, and allowed the wielder to perform leaping ground slams. The weapon was so universally hated that Epic removed it from the game, although you can still try it out for yourself in creative mode.
It also ruined a $1 million tournament. That and the backlash from the community got it vaulted after only 5 days. It's fun and creative and in the sword fight LTM, which is where it should have been from the beginning.
Number 4. The Icon series.
What the hell? 2. Electric Boogaloo.
Alright, might not be here yet.
Oh!
We've heard of companies giving back to their communities, but this is taking it too far.
How is this taking it too far? The Icon series is a great idea.
In January 2020, Epic began shelling out a new line of cosmetics dubbed the Icon series, consisting of skins and emotes based on popular Fortnite streamers and celebrity fans. Whether you revel in playing as your favorite influencer or find it unbearably cringy, the lineup has only begun to overshadow Fortnite's unique characters and aesthetic rather than add to it. Shouldn't we be seeing the likes of Burger Boss or Rust Lord instead of a bunch of ninjas and Travis Scotts running around? Seriously, it's starting to become less Fortnite and more like Ninja and Friends Battle Royale.
Oh shit.
They get multiple things wrong here, and it's hard to see how they did. The Icon series isn't overshadowing Fortnite's unique characters and aesthetic at all. There are only 6 Icon series skins. The skin is called Beef Boss, not Burger Boss. Not a huge deal, but it just peeves me. And also, if this really was Ninja and Friends Battle Royale, there would be little to no original characters, just streamers and celebrities.
Number 3. PvE still in beta.
Is this a missile or some sort of rocket?
Some sort of rocket. Actually, wait! It's the best sort of rocket! Commander, there's a satellite on board!
I agree here, but this isn't at all in the top 10.
When Fortnite launched in 2017, Epic announced plans to make the game's Save the World mode free to play towards the end of 2018. As soon as the transition is made, Fortnite will finally leave its early access state, according to the game's official Twitter page, that is.
10 seconds to blast off!
Here we are, years after launch, and Fortnite still has yet to make the move. The shift has been delayed a handful of times already, and Epic is still wanting players to fork over $40 for the mode. In other words, the original Fortnite has now been in development for nearly a decade.
Confession time! I, broke the airstrike. Let's not dwell on who crashed what into a mountain, alright? Nope.
Save the World is totally worth $40, and the reason why it's taken them nearly a decade to develop it is because it's been in development hell since 2011 and under threat of cancellation once, until they decide to release it in early access in 2017.
Number 2. Overpriced Cosmetics. We'd always be happy to buy awesome DLC and cosmetics, but Fortnite charges way too much for them. You want us to pay $15 to $20 for a skin? Yes, some come with a pickaxe or special emote, but when you think about what else that $15 to $20 can go towards, the value changes. You could have a nice meal at a restaurant, go see a movie, or better yet, buy a brand new game. Heck, you could grab multiple games at a lower cost given how often digital storefronts hold massive sales. Plus, with the store changing every day, you basically need that exorbitant amount ready or you may never get a chance to purchase what you want again.
$15 to $20 for skins is reasonable. Not for pickaxes, gliders, emotes, and wraps. And yeah, $15 to $20 could go to a lot of other things, which is why they're optional and grant no competitive advantage. Fortnite is one of the most consumer-friendly games out there. Also, the shop rotating is how they get people to spend money on the game.
Number 1. X4 Stormwing.
What the frick? How is the Brute not number 1 or on this list at all? Yes, the X4 Stormwings were bad, but the Brutes were a million times worse.
When the biggest influencer to your game has threatened to quit, you know you've messed up. The X4 Stormwing was introduced at the start of Season 7 and quickly became the most hated addition to Fortnite in the game's history.
The most hated addition to Fortnite in the game's history? That's what the frickin' Brute is!
While it was cool to get a new vehicle and fly from place to place, that's not what most players were using it for. One could expect being dive-bombed and assaulted in almost every match, and structures provided zero defense as the plane could fly right through and instantly destroy them. Despite being nerfed to hell and back, there was no redeeming the Stormwing, and the damn thing was eventually vaulted before Season 8 began.
And that's the end of the video. Oh god, that was a terrible video. They didn't include the brutes, which was not a good decision. The brute is the most hated addition to Fortnite ever. Some of the clips of streamers dying to them are nuts, and I'm sure we've all had our moments of rage dying to one. So I think it's safe to say that WatchMojo doesn't understand Fortnite. And before this video ends, I want to let you guys know that the device event will be happening on Saturday, June 6th, 2020, and Chapter 2 Season 3 will be starting on Thursday, June 11th, 2020. If you want to see my reaction to those, I will be recording them, so stay tuned for those videos, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.